Hi everyone, it's Nicole for the Lawn Fawn May 2014 Inspiration Week, and today I'm showcasing the brand new Chit Chat stamp set and coordinating dies. I've used them here on a set of 5 note cards. These are the Lawn Fawn note cards. They come in 5 awesome colors, and I used one of each of these note cards for this gift card set. And not only did I make the note cards, but I also created this little envelope using a digital die cut design from Carrie Bradford to house all 5 of my cards plus the coordinating envelopes that Lawn Fawn has. So that was an example of the finished card, and I'm going to create all 4 of the rest of the cards for this set all at once. I'm doing it kind of assembly line style. That works the best, I think, when you're creating a set of cards. I'm using these awesome colored pencils from Spectrum Noir. These are a little bit new to me. I've been using them for a while now, and they are a lot like the Prismacolor pencils that you may have seen more of or seen me use in the past, that they blend really nicely, they go on smoothly, they come in a ton of colors. But one of the great things about these Spectrum Noir colored pencils is they come in color sets. There are currently 5 sets of colored pencils, and I think it makes it really nice for those of us that want to slowly build our collection. Whereas sometimes some of the other colored pencils may come in really large sets or just come in other kind of basic sets. These come in sets that are kind of grouped to work with specific things, and you can use them for whatever. But I love that each set has about 3 colored pencils that coordinate well together, that'll blend well together. So like for my card here, or for my birds here rather, I've stamped all of these birds and I'm coloring them in, maybe not with all 3 of those colors, but if you were looking for 3 colors that would coordinate well together, they already have that work done for you, which for me is great. I don't like having to guess. So I'm coloring in a whole bunch of these cute little birds to go on my cards. Now these birds here, actually I ended up not using, I don't think these are, I didn't like how those turned out. And the great thing is you can stamp a bunch of these and they're so small, they color really fast. I am blending them out with some Gamsol after I color them in. You maybe wouldn't even have to do that if you didn't want to, because they are such a small area. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one more of these Spectrum Noir sets because I was looking for a different green, and these greens here really work nicely with my green note card. I was going more for a tone-on-tone with many of the cards that I was creating here in this gift set. However, I thought that yellow birds on the yellow note card just didn't stand out, so I created more peach colored birds instead. And then for the gray, I really didn't want to create gray birds, so I did these little red birds here. And I'm keeping their tummies kind of yellow and then blending the colors into that. Gives it a little bit more depth and dimension. Even though these are a really small element, because I'm keeping these note cards so simple, I wanted the birds and the coloring on them to kind of stand out, if that makes sense. So I'll finish coloring in the rest of these really quickly, or the one here that I ended up changing. So I'm going to finish blending out the rest of these little birds, and then I'll add some detailing with a white gel pen. I always like adding those little dots and details at the end. And like I mentioned before, these are really simple cards overall, so any little thing you can add to it really makes them more eye-catching, I think. Here are those little white dots. Now, the coordinating dies for this I probably should mention all of the birds are from the new Chit stamp set. And there's actually these two little birds and then a solid stamped bird. So you want to make sure you get the right bird dies because they're all very similar. In fact, I think maybe on one of those blue birds, I die cut with the wrong die the first time. So once I've colored them all, like I was saying, as simply line style, I've colored them, I die cut them, and then I die cut these vellum pieces using the stitched journaling card die. And this is actually one that I'm not going to be using simply because you can see there along the top that I didn't get it cut. There's something else on the paper and I didn't get it cut very cleanly, but I did die cut all of my vellum pieces using that die. Then I die cut all of the clouds using the Lawn Fawn Spring Showers die. And on vellum now, I am stamping the Chit Chat word bubbles using Versamark ink. I first brushed over the vellum with that powder tool so that the embossing powder sticks only to the stamped image. Tap off any of that excess there, and then I will heat set all of these and die cut them as well. I like doing all of the same elements at one time. It just makes it go so much quicker, lots easier. I don't have to keep getting out the same things. I can do it all at once and then move on to the next step. And I just love the white embossing on vellum. Pretty much any color of embossing on vellum, I love that look. Now, even though I'm doing the vellum stitched journaling card, I tried it another way before I did the video of stamping the greeting, the word bubble greeting on solid white cardstock in a color, and I just didn't think it had the same effect. I really like the way the vellum thought bubble looks on the vellum background. It looks cool. I like that. I like the vellum on vellum. So as I get my cards put together, you'll see that a little bit more. I used Post-it tape to hold all of my dies in place to run them through my die cut machine. I always like doing that. I know I've mentioned it before in my videos. And you might get tired of hearing it, but I feel like when you go through all of the trouble and work to color your stamped images or stamp and emboss them, you would just hate to have them shift and move when you run them through your die cut machine. So that Post-it tape is just indispensable to me. And I use mine over and over until it loses its stickiness to get the most out of it. Now I'm laying out all four of my note cards, the clouds. You can see I've tucked one of the clouds behind the vellum, and then the rest of the elements are going to be on top. That's another one of my tips that I like to share when I'm using vellum, is the more you can layer in front and behind, I think the more interesting it looks. So I'll adhere all of those elements together. Now this is an envelope that I have die cut on a digital die cutting machine. I use the Silhouette Cameo. This is a design from Carrie Bradford, and I've die cut it from some of the Lawn Fawn Let's Polka 12 by 12 paper. And the envelope, I needed to size it big enough so that it would hold my note cards comfortably, especially since there is a little dimension to them, and hold the envelopes that coordinate with this size of Lawn Fawn note cards as well. And to do that, you can cut the pieces and then secure them together. You can see I did that with adhesive, but Carrie's tip is to use some washi tape to cover up that seam. So I just picked some washi tape from my stash that was kind of this same aqua color, and I'm just layering it over it, kind of messy like. I didn't want it to be perfect. So I'm really layering it on with with varying lengths of washi tape. Secure all of those, both on the outside and then on the inside as well. So just to make sure that seam is nice and secure. And it doesn't take away from the design. I actually really think it kind of adds to it, makes it almost a little bit more interesting. And you could stamp something on the front of this if you wanted to. It's just a fun little way to, fun presentation for giving a gift card set. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. And I went through and added a stamped tag that I embellished with some dimensional die cut florals and sequins and things. And I also die cut a felt letter that I did from the brand new Fawn Louis ABCs and 1, 2, 3s set. They're big, bold, and they work with the really fun stitched banners, the stitched party banners, which are coming too. So stay tuned a little later this week. I have more projects on my blog showcasing those. I'm simply putting all of the elements together now on my card. I'm using the quick stick tool for some of these small little elements. The hearts are from the Chit Chat stamp set, just stamped in a coordinating ink color and die cut. I die cut 2 of them, and the last one I didn't need to die cut. I stamped it right on the cloud. And then I will continue putting all of these together and use a little Wink of Stella clear glitter pen to give the little hearts some glitz and glamour. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing how to create a gift card set using the Chit Chat stamp set from Fawn. All of the products I've used are linked below the video on YouTube. Additional details can be found on my blog, www.nicolemcgurk.typepad.com. Please subscribe for more weekly videos. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.